Come, visit McDonaldland this summer and try Grimace Island's newest thick volcanic shake. So, get the new Mount McDonaldland shake with one of 6 souvenirs when you order the McDonaldland meal.
For over 50 years, Cartown's been servicing Northeast Louisiana, and the Sterlington Panthers have been a huge part of our growth. And for that, Cartown Tires and Service would like to say, go Panthers!
Repair it, catch up on bills, or replace it. Turn your home's equity into endless possibilities with a home equity line of credit from Cross Keys Bank. I'm Lee Riordan, Senior Vice President and Market Manager. Stop by and visit me today at our Sterlington branch for more details. Or give me a call at 665-4511. Cross Keys Bank, proud supporter of the Sterlington Panthers. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Neither snow-capped mountains nor puddles of water, nor unexpected detours with a 20-foot drainage pipe can stop the ruggedly capable Telluride X Pro from getting you to your dinner reservation on time.
Okay.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Fence Depot uses quality materials and has the expertise to give you the best service with the best price. They take pride in offering their customers a full selection of fencing options. For chain link, ornamental, vinyl, wildlife, and more, try Fence Depot in West Monroe. 318-331-4457. Fence Depot.
Around here, family is more than just a last name. It's who you show up for. For generations, the Compton family and Architects Windows and Doors has stood by this community with honesty, hard work, and a handshake you can trust. Because every window we design, every door we assemble isn't just about your house. It's about your home. Family owned, community rooted, Architects Windows and Doors. A family business built for your family.
Choose PrimeSTAR Home Health. We'll provide the best care for your patient or loved one. From managing chronic conditions to wound care and therapy, we specialize in a wide range of services. PrimeSTAR Home Health. We have the skill to heal and the spirit to care. Choose PrimeSTAR Home Health. We'll provide the best care for your patient or loved one. From managing chronic conditions to wound care and therapy, we specialize in a wide range of services. PrimeSTAR Home Health. We have the skill to heal and the spirit to care.
Sustaining a brain injury due to someone else's negligence is devastating. Downs Law Firm can't change what happened, but they will fight to hold those at fault accountable and aggressively negotiate with insurance to recover fair compensation.
Tired of battling weeds and patchy grass? Sure Enough Green's got you covered. From weed control, fertilizer, irrigation, aeration, and tree and shrub treatment, Sure Enough does it all to keep your lawn looking its best. Need your yard clean? Call Sure Enough Green. Spraying solutions that work.
Well, good evening, Panther fans, and welcome to the Lee Doty Coaches Show, brought to you by PrimeSTAR Home Health. I'm William Handy. I'm filling in for Ben Hackler, and I'm here with Coach Lee Doty. Coach, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
Oh,
glad to see you.
Thank you. It's been a little bit, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
It's been a little bit. So, anyway, glad to be back here. Gonna let the folks know Ben will be back next week. He's over at middle school tonight for the Sterlington Middle School Panther Bowl.
Right.
That's really turned into a big event. His son Jackson's on the 7th grade team, so I was glad to fill in for him when he told me what it was. I remember those days, but it was kind of led me into a question I wanted to ask you about, Coach. We've seen this program grow over the years to what it is today, and a lot of the kids you have, I mean, some move into the zone, but there's a lot of homegrown talent that comes from the elementary school to the middle school to the high school, and seem to do a really good job with that. And I know you got a massive freshman class that came out this year that's really contributing, some of those guys now. How important is that pipeline that y'all have got coming through that middle school these days?
Well, I think it's probably the most important foundation. One of our cornerstones of our program right there is the middle school football. And, we got great coaches over there, and they do a good job. And it means a lot to them to be successful, and it means a lot to them for those kids to be successful at the high school level. They standing on the sideline, they watch them be successful, and it means a lot to them, but it means a lot to us that they put so much into that program, and it means a lot to them to see them become high school Panthers. And, it's not like, we're here to do this and that, and, when you leave here, they really follow them through the program. So, and but it's been good. We've had some really good classes that's come out of there. We've had some small classes. This year we had, I think we got 40-something freshmen. Can't really put my, according to what week it is really, but we do have over 40 freshmen. I think we have a smaller class coming up next year, 20 or so kids. And we like to average between 15 and 20 kids per class. So they've done a good job. And, one of the things that helped this ninth grade class was the holdback. When they voted to allow them to hold back in the 8th grade, we had 12 or 15 of those guys hold back. So, we're kind of hoping that we'll get 10 or 12 of these 8th graders and 7th graders to start holding back, because as we grow and our school gets bigger and we have to play bigger teams, you'd a whole lot rather go to war with an 18-year-old senior than a 17, sometimes 16-year-old seniors. Right. We have a kid right now that's in the 9th grade that will be 16 when he's a senior playing football, and we have a 16-year-old 9th grader. So you got a guy that's playing in the 9th grade as a 16-year-old, and this guy is going to be 16-year-old when he's a senior. And the 16-year-old is going to be a 19-year-old.
That's right.
And, it just if your kid's going to be an athlete, it only makes sense to try to hold them back. I think you were smart enough to do that early on, and
yeah,
before they allow you to do this in middle school now, and I just think we need to take advantage of it. So that was kind of my little holdback plug. I'll get that in there, but that has really made a difference. You take a kid like Silas Ashley, who held back last year, and he's coming in here now, and he's playing. He's starting as a freshman.
That's right.
And, last year he wouldn't have started as a freshman, so he would have missed a year of playing football, basically, and getting the start. So it means a lot. But to answer your question on the other side of things, man, our middle school program, it's great to watch them. Them being across the road now from us, it's good. I can go down during the wait period and just kind of get to know the kids, and it's been a good thing for us.
Yeah, and I would fully endorse the holdback, because we did that, and my son was 19, Luke, whenever he was halfway through his senior year, and about 4 or 5 of them held back that year, and it's a big advantage. It really is, academically and athletically. I think I'm a big fan of that. I had mentioned to you right before I left the house, there were some projected districts based on the numbers that have come out, and I noticed, and I'd shown it to you, and I wanted to ask you a question before we get to the North Webster discussion. It looks like Richwood, based on numbers, would fall down to District 2-2A, which would leave 1-3A with us, North Webster, Carroll, and Bastrop. I know one thing that we struggle with is scheduling. What's your opinion on that now, Coach? Is that you'd have to schedule 7 games? What is your opinion of that? I know that's going to be a challenge on the scheduling side, I would think.
Well, it's just it's awful if they leave it like that. We struggled last year scheduling games. We had to schedule 6 this time. We had a 5-team district, so if we drop to a 4-team district, we're going to have to schedule 7 games, and I'm just going to tell you that's going to be extremely hard to do. And, I'm hoping maybe if that's the numbers and this is where we're at, they'll combine us with a district below us at least. And, we'd have an 8-team district then. You don't have to find 3 games. So, but that district's not going to be for that, So I don't know. It's hopefully some things will change and things will move around. And, You know, we'll do district in a different way or something, but having a 4-team district is just it is tough, and you know, we're going to have to pay people to play us. I mean, I'm just going to tell you, or we're going to have to play 5A schools.
Yeah.
And you know, really be honest with you, neither one of them are a good way to go.
That's right.
So that's where we're at with that. So I'm hoping things change before it becomes official.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully they will. And you know, it gets to a point when it gets that small, it's a problem for other schools as well. So.
Absolutely.
Well, on the North Webster game, Coach, Panthers came out with a big win Thursday night.
Right.
Yeah, 50-7. What were your initial thoughts of the team overall and their performance against North Webster?
Well, it kind of went pretty much like I thought it was going to. I figured we'd come out, start slow, you know, and you know, it was a long trip over there. You know, the kids, you know, we had a good week of practice, and you know, we talked about starting fast, and you know, we come out and fumble on the first play of the game, and you know, I really believe I think that's like 8 out of the last 9 contests we've fumbled on the first series. And we practiced that, by the way. We practiced fumbling on the first series. And practice makes perfect.
Yeah, they're doing good.
You know, so we always feel like if we give the other team the ball first, you know, and go ahead and get it out of the way, maybe we can come back and do our thing. But, you know, it's getting harder and harder to watch us putting the ball on the ground like that. And, you know, we just throw it deep on the first play or something, and, you know, and throw it out of bounds, throw it over there to me or something. But, you know, we work on ball security all the time. We work on that mesh right there. And, you know, J-Rob's a junior. You know, he's supposed to be grown up, and our running backs are juniors. And, you know, we just got to do a better job of that because, like I said, that's it's hard to overcome that.
Well, but y'all did manage to overcome that, and I really wanted to talk first about the defensive side of the ball. I thought just another great performance by that defense coach. Defensively, y'all allowed 99 yards to North Webster. Of that, 41 was rushing and 58 was passing. 49 of that came on that touchdown pass play, and I know y'all were already rotating in some of your other players, but gosh, what are your thoughts on what they did on the defensive side of the ball Thursday night?
Well, I mean, I thought they played really hard. First thing, you know, I thought they got out there and got after it, and you know, was able to get off blocks, and we tackled well, and you know, I saw a lot of gang tackling going on, and you know, I always love to see that type of stuff, and you know, our secondary is playing better. You know, we're getting better back there. But I thought overall it was a great performance, and you know, Connor Justice just keeps playing well and getting better every week, and Trey had a good game the other night, and you know, some of our interior defensive linemen played really well, so it was a good game for us and defensively.
Well, and I actually noted that and was going to point that out. I thought that defensive front seven did just an outstanding job. The defensive line shut the running lanes down. They really could not make it around the edge. You know, English and Bagwell did a great job in their role, but Connor Justice really stood out Thursday night. He was filling those lanes. He made a number of tackles. Of course, Trey Birch does what Trey Birch does and had that pick six. But overall, I thought they did just a outstanding job. I thought the game plan was good. And I guess what were the key points y'all focused on to shut them down like that?
Well, you know, they run a lot of misdirection and, you know, just not getting caught with your eyes in the backfield and, you know, just reading the guards and playing your keys. And I thought our guys did that. But when you got Bagwell and English, you know, on defensive ends, it's hard to run wide on us.
Sure.
You know, those two guys can really run. So I thought they did a great job of containing and making them cut back in where we had a lot of pursuit. So it was good to see. I think we're getting better on that side of the ball.
Well, I stick to the term eye candy, and y'all did a fine job of them not biting on the eye candy, not eye discipline.
Right.
That's Ben's term.
Right.
So I'll stick with eye candy. But, you know, offensively, it turned out to be a big night in the rushing game. We had 356 yards on 47 carries, so we were averaging 7.5 yards a clip. and that was spread out over 10 running backs. And so I thought that was very impressive. It's 6 touchdowns offensively by 6 different backs also. Of course, T.J. Birch led them all with 97 yards and a touchdown. And Christian Mott added 81 with a touchdown as well. Just a question, with that many backs running, how important is it to get that many reps for those guys involved in the running game? And, you know, do you see that paying dividends down the road in the playoffs with being able to rotate?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're trying to plan for the playoffs and getting a lot of guys some touches. You know, injuries happen, you know, in a blink of an eye. And just getting those guys touches will help us out down the road, you know. I thought Mott's run for the touchdown was, you know, awesome. And, you know, him being a senior and being a program guy and worked hard for 4 years, you know, for him to have that moment, you know, that was great. And but, yeah, I think it's really good. And, you know, we got a lot of backs. We got, you know, the depth there is deeper than it's ever been for us. You know, and sometimes at some point in time, you know, when we get in these playoffs, you know, it's going to be one back. You know, it's going to be one guy. Whoever's a hot hand, that's what we're going to roll with. But,
right.
You know, we're actually trying to get somebody other than TJ, you know, to take the tailback spot, you know, and just kind of take ownership of it. And, you know, we lost Landon Washington. You know, that was our guy, our sophomore running back. He's out for the year with an injury. And, you know, I had noticed, you know, he had started kind of coming on, you know, and growing up, and that's a big loss for us. You know, I just thought he loves football and plays really hard, but that was a big loss for us. But, you know, we got other backs, and that's why you give them all the carries you can.
Well, and you pointed out Christian Mott, and we were ecstatic on the radio whenever, or the air, excuse me. I keep saying radio, but we moved beyond that. You know, we're radio and media, but such a great thing. And he made that one move at the end to break it loose. And you call him a program guy, and that was one thing I wanted to ask you. I'd actually put it in my notes. You know, how important is it to have guys like that are seniors that, I mean, they come in and they just do the hard work whenever they're called on. How important that is to build that culture here, Coach?
Well, I think those are the type of guys that, you know, you get up and get out of bed and go to work for. You know, those are the type of guys that, you know, you like, man, if we had 25 of those kids, you know, we'd never lose a game. I mean, those are the type of guys that, you know, you get into this for. You know, maybe not the most athletic or the fastest or the biggest or the strongest, but, I mean, just 100% heart and yes sir, no sir guy, doesn't get in trouble in the building, you know, does all the right things. And, you know, so it's great, you know, to be able to give them that moment. So, you know, just we got a bunch of those guys.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of those guys. And, you know, you want to kind of divide it out where everybody has their time, you know. But those 4-year guys that's been with us for 4 years, they're special to our program, no doubt.
Well, and they instill that work ethic, too, to those other kids as they come up, I think. But, man, it's great to see those guys succeed. You know, one other thing I was going to ask is you can't get that yardage without the offensive line, and I thought they did a really good job Thursday night. And, Coach, I was just going to ask you if you'd comment on the performance they did and some of those guys that maybe stood out Thursday night.
Well, I thought they did a great job. You know, we lost Whit early in the game to an injury, and he's fine. He'll be back this week. And somebody else had to step in. You know, we're playing 2 freshmen a whole lot, and Lingfeldt and Sturdivant, you know, they're playing an awful lot of football to be freshmen. But, you know, we're starting to build some depth there. And but I thought they played well. You know, we got to get better at pass blocking. We're cutting people loose sometimes that we shouldn't be cutting loose. But, you know, the push that we're getting, you know, it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun to watch people getting displaced down the field. You know, I really enjoy watching the offensive line and how they're working. But look, I'm gonna tell you, we're not hitting on everything right now. You know, this is week 8, so we're trying to get better and get better. I don't think we ever hit our stride to the playoffs last year. So, but I feel like we got a good run in us if this offensive line will keep continuing to to get better. Our defense keep tackling and getting better, and we'll stop putting the ball on the ground. I think we got a run in us for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think you do have a good group, and you got one of the best coaches in the state, Larry Foster, in charge of that. And I think you're right. When you hit your stride, I notice a lot of times you'll say we hadn't played a complete game yet.
Right.
When y'all do, Katie bar the door,
Yep.
the way I see it.
Well, I hope you're right.
Well, Panther fans, we'll be right back with more of the Lee Doty Coaches Show in just a moment.
Tired of battling weeds and patchy grass? Sure Enough Greens got you covered. From weed control, fertilizer, irrigation, aeration, and tree and shrub treatment, Sure Enough does it all to keep your lawn looking its best. Need your yard clean? Call Sure Enough Green. Spraying solutions that work. Fence Depot uses quality materials and has the expertise to give you the best service with the best price. They take pride in offering their customers a full selection of fencing options. For chain link, ornamental, vinyl, wildlife, and more, try Fence Depot in West Monroe. 318-331-4457. Fence Depot.
Welcome back to the Lee Doty Coaches Show, brought to you by PrimeSTAR Home Health. Coach, this week the Panthers are back home and they'll take on the Bastrop Rams. Important note, the game has been moved to Thursday night, so make sure and change that on your calendar, fans. Same time, 7 o'clock, but it'll be Thursday night. So, Coach Bastrop, they're having a tough year this year. They're coming in here winless. Just kind of a question on preparation as a coach. What approach do you use to get the team to focus on the standard you've set here at Sterlington and really not focus on that winless record so much?
Well, I think that's a great question, and we talked a little bit about it today is, we can only control what we control. And, we're working to get better every day. It doesn't matter who we play Thursday or Friday nights. It's about us. And we're preparing just like we prepared against Neville. And but I think you got to have kids that understand this is what we're doing and focus on getting better this week because we want to be good, week 13, 14, and 15. And the only way to be good then is to get better week 8. I mean, you can't just go out there and not do anything. I mean, you got to work and you got to prepare. I think our coaches have done a great job this week. I'm just really proud of the practice. The effort today at practice was extremely good. And, I know they read the articles, they see the records, and they see this, and, they see the films and all that. But it's really about us, and it is whoever we play, and it's about us. If we do what we're supposed to do, then we'll be victorious. If we get out here Thursday night and we don't do what we're supposed to do, then, the Rams will win. So it's really more about us than it is who we're playing.
Yeah. Well, as you've looked at that film, what do you think about their team this year, Coach? Like I said, I know they're having struggles. They got a good coach. Got Coach Tank Washington up there. But what's your impressions of the team overall?
I think the numbers, are dwindling down pretty bad, participation. When you got 23, 24 kids, you playing everybody both ways, and your special teams become a factor. And, and I just think it's a numbers situation for those guys right now. So, he is a good coach. He's got some good coaches around him. And, I'm not really sure how young they are. I know they lost an awful lot of guys last year. I believe we counted up, it was like 26 starters, offensively, defensively, and special teams. Seniors they had, I should say, 26. But out of a 40-team roster last year. So you had 14 returning guys. And I just think the numbers have caught up with them. And, they got some different situations going on up there with the middle school football, having to practice the same time as high school. And you got 7th through 12th graders out there. And, they'll if they ever can get all that fixed, they got the athletes to do it, as we saw last year. They got the athletes. And they got some good-looking athletes this year. And, but they've yet to put it together.
Well, and I figured youth was going to be part of that issue with them, and I knew the numbers. I think most everybody's heard that's part of the problem is just the numbers game on them. You know, on the offensive side of the ball for Bastrop, Coach, what are they? What do you expect them to run? How's that going to match up with us? Do you see where we may have a challenge somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, the quarterback, and you know, they got a good receiver out there, and they'll throw the ball and they'll take shots down the field, and you know, 50-50 balls and those type of things that you know, if they protect him, he's going to try to find a way. You know, we got to contain that guy. He'll run and get out of there when he can. So you know, it's the spread offense. You know, and the good thing about that is about this time of the year we've seen just about everything you can throw at someone. You know, as far as formation. So we just basically have worked on lining up right, doing a lot of fundamentals this week, and, you know, trying to get better and play fast.
Yeah. Well, on the defensive side of the ball for the Rams, I typically used to see a lot of times they'd have a lot of their best athletes over on that side of the ball. Are you seeing it this year with them, Coach? And if so, do you see some areas that y'all can exploit from what you've seen?
You know, I think we'll have a chance to run the ball. You know, and be successful at it. If we don't put it on the ground, I think we'll be fine up front with the guys up there. I think their secondary is smart. They fly around to the ball. I mean, they're always got people covered up. I mean, that to me, that's their best part of the football team is their secondary. You know, they cover really well. And so special teams-wise, you know, they do a good job with the numbers they have. It's just a lot of guys going three ways, really, you know, when you go offense, defense, special teams. And, you know, it just takes a toll on you. You know, we'll see what happens.
Well, Coach, we'll wrap it up there. Again, Panther fans, we've got Bastrop coming to Sterlington. And, again, it's going to be Thursday night, 7 o'clock. If you can't make it to the game, you can catch myself and Ben Hackler on YouTube, beginning with the pregame show at 6:45 and kickoff at 7 p.m. Coach, I'll leave the final words to you.
Well, you know, we got Prancing Panthers and, you know, one of those things this Thursday night, and there'll be a lot of young kids out there doing their thing, so I know we'll have a good crowd there, and hope to see everybody out there. Go Panthers.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight, and we hope you have a great rest of the week.
Choose PrimeSTAR Home Health. We'll provide the best care for your patient or loved one. From managing chronic conditions to wound care and therapy, we specialize in a wide range of services. PrimeSTAR Home Health. We have the skill to heal and the spirit to care. Choose PrimeSTAR Home Health. We'll provide the best care for your patient or loved one. From managing chronic conditions to wound care and therapy, we specialize in a wide range of services. PrimeSTAR Home Health. We have the skill to heal and the spirit to care.